evening, or actually good morning. I am so excited to be here with one of my favorite partnerships that was established over 7 years ago. Yay! And for those of you that don't know that are tuning in, because we're on all of our streaming platforms, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn. I'm Candan Simmons, style educator and owner of All That and More Boutique. And I have the pleasure of being here with one of my favorite partners, Sunbit. We got together over 7 years ago, and we have been rolling strong since then. And we're celebrating that 7 year anniversary. So, again, I'm here with Dan, I'm here with Adrian, and more Nistas. I know you're wondering, who's Adrian? What's he doing here? Where's Dan going? I'll save that now. He's not going anywhere. We've just added an addition, Adrian, and Adrian's going to tell you more about what he does. And I'm going to hand it over to Dan so he can tell you, for those of you that don't know who Dan is, we know who he is. But Dan, please tell us who you are, what you do for Sunbit, and anything else you want to add.
Sure. So, hi everyone. My name is Dan. I've held quite a few roles at Sunbit over the past 7 years. I got my start actually servicing Cadence. She was our first customer. That was my first task. My first job was making sure she was taken care of. Since then, I've moved into leading our technical support team. So I'm kind of behind the scenes. Whenever there's issues, I'm helping to make sure we get those resolved. And Adrian, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I'm Adrian Valente. I'm our Director of Training and Enablement. I joined Sunbit just shortly after Dan did, and back then I, would travel with Dan. We would train people, teach them how to use Sunbit, and over the course of these 7 years, we've trained and launched over 18,000 merchant locations that now partner with Sunbit nationwide. So from humble beginnings, and you might be curious why I have this logo called Sun Beast on the television behind me. And a Sun Beast is someone who is trained and certified in Sunbit technology. Candance is actually the first ever Sun Beast, trained in 2016, and today we have over 110,000 certified Sun Beasts coast to coast in a variety of different industries. But you are the original, the super OG, the number one. And I might not have done these events with you in the past, but I've always been lurking in the background, admiring everything you've been doing. And your customers are just such a joy to work with, to support. And I find myself telling your story often to our new hires when I try to inspire other merchants. Some places will tell us, oh, but my business is small, or, how do we hit these big numbers I see? And, I point to you and I say, look at what's possible. Look at what this community is able to do with the right tools. So we're just so excited to be a part of this and share with you what's going on.
Awesome. So let's talk about, I love to tell this story. Speaking of stories, I love to tell how the owners of Sunbit approached me. So Tal and Arad are the owners of Sunbit, and they came in, just walked into my location one day, and I quickly said, my inner voice said, I don't know who they are. I know they're selling something. I'm not buying, but I was taught to be nice. So we started engaging, and at the time, I was taking in layaways, and which meant I was holding my client's merchandise hostage until they came in to pick it up. It was uncomfortable for me, uncomfortable for the client. And then when they talked about the option of paying over time 7 years ago, before anyone else was offering that option, I was interested. And it's been amazing since then. The service, even though Dan has moved around, he's still someone that I can reach out to. I still reach out to the owners when I have questions or concerns. But for the most part, everything has been delivered in a manner in which I love to provide my clients. So that's the thing with partnerships. If you can partner with someone that gets your service model and it's seamless, that's a great partnership. And that's what it's been for myself, All That and More Boutique, and Sunbit. So, can you guys tell us? You mentioned a few numbers, Adrian, now, but can you tell us, Dan, from where we started with just one handheld item to now you guys are in hundreds of locations or thousands of locations. So, what is Sunbit doing now? What's on the horizon and what can we expect going forward?
So yeah, we actually have a few product updates we want to share of things that have recently launched and things that are coming soon in
Mhm.
the future. Adrian?
I've worked for companies over the years where things just wouldn't change. They wouldn't
Okay.
get better. There was just a
Mhm.
lot of, people being content with just how things were. And I think what I marvel at in these past 7 years is just how we continue to march towards always improving things. Can we make it better? So, we're actually excited to be launching a whole bunch of new features that make it easier for you to access, manage, and control everything related to Sunbit. So, these monthly payment plans that you have, how can you get easier access to what you need? So there's a couple of things that we got going on. First of all, there's the new click to pay functionality, which now allows Sunbit to simply email or text late customers a personalized link to pay online without having to log into your account and without having to jump on the phone or receive a phone call from someone. To email or text with a custom link for you to quickly pay. It's a lot faster, a lot easier, and won't be pestering you with phone calls. And the
Nice.
beautiful thing is, as you know, we have no fees whatsoever. No late fees, no prepayment penalty fees, no account origination fees, none of that junk like
Mm.
we see out there. But we're able to launch new tools, including web chat that's now launched on our website. So now we have the ability to connect directly with one of our customer support agents at our call center in Las Vegas. As you know, we don't outsource collections or support to any third party organizations. We handle that entirely with our US based call center right in Nevada. So you're talking to US agents, which is great. So now we have Click to Pay to help you with any late payments. And then we have web chat if you need help and you don't have time to jump on the phone or it's just not a good fit for you. Hey, head over to sunbit.com and you can start chatting with us immediately. And then,
Mm.
of course, there's the crown jewel of the Sunbit customer experience, which is the My Sunbit mobile app for iOS and Android devices. We want to make sure that you have every access point you need to make sure you can let us know if there's a lost card, it's stolen, you want to look at transactions or spend insights. And we actually have a lot of really cool updates coming soon for the card, which, Dan, do you know when we're launching all those new features? Am I getting ahead of myself a little bit?
Coming soon. We don't have a specific date yet, but definitely later this year.
We're going to show you something in a moment that's going to highlight some cool stuff. But, in addition to Click to Pay, the new web chat feature, and of course, all the new updates for the My Sunbit mobile app, we also have the Sunbit card, which maybe some of you have heard about. Maybe you've poked around sunbit.com and seen, hey, we actually have a new product. See,
Mhm.
what you know in the store is our loan product, which is on
Yeah.
the tablet, right?
Mhm.
Simple monthly payment plans. Actually, Candace, how did you refer to Sunbit back in the early days? It wasn't layaway.
It's a
What was it?
takeaway. It was a takeaway. You get to take it with you. And I still have to say that when I'm talking to clients, because when I mentioned the Sunbit option as a payment option, one lady was like, "Oh, okay." And I said, "You're all set. You're ready to go." And she started walking out. I said, "Wait a minute. You get to take this with you. I'm not holding it." And she's like, "Oh, really?" So yeah, it's not layaway. We want it now. It's a
Right.
takeaway. Take it with you.
And then that brings us to the next question we hear quite a bit, which is where else can I take Sunbit with me? Like, this has been a great experience. I want to use it elsewhere. What can we do? We've been getting this question for 7 years, and we
Mm.
finally have an answer, and that's the new Sunbit card. It rides on the Visa rails. You actually see the Visa logo on the card, so it works anywhere Visa is accepted, utilizing the best of debit, credit, and Sunbit all in one simple card, giving you more control, more flexibility. And basically, we have a wait list now on our website. So if you've used Sunbit with the tablet, actually, Candace, does anyone have the card already? Has that
Yes,
Yeah.
happened?
several of my clients have the card, and that's one of the beautiful things about the relationship. One of my clients actually ran into a very challenging, unexpected situation, and she was able to take care of her mother's services on her Sunbit card. And she was just like, I don't know what I would have done otherwise. So, Sunbit has been a godsend in the community that
Yeah.
I serve. Mhm.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Sunbit.
And
It's
so it's the card, it originally started similar to our core product where your card balance would be split into 12 monthly payments. We heard your feedback on that. Sometimes that meant the monthly payment was too high, so we extended it, and now it's split into 36 months, which gives more flexibility. This year, what we're releasing is kind of an overhaul. Again, we heard your feedback, we're listening, and we're transitioning the Sunbit card into what we're calling now the Sunbit Buy Now Pay Later card. So with that, as Adrian mentioned, previously the original Sunbit card was by invitation only, so you kind of had to wait and see if you got an invitation. And now on our website, we've launched that wait list. So if you are interested, you can go to sunbit.com/card and join the wait list to get your own Buy Now Pay Later card. And what we're also rolling out is, from your feedback, is credit line increases. So you might see a prompt in your My Sunbit app asking you to update your income, and if you do see that, that's the option for you to get a credit line increase on your card. Um,
Dan, will that happen automatically if you just go in and update your income? It'll just say, congratulations, you've received an increase, or do you have to hit something or click something for the increase?
by updating your income, that puts it under review. So you may or may not see an income, but that's how you start the process.
Okay, great.
interesting. So if I see a prompt in my Sunbit app asking for information about how much I make or any of that, the reason is that's what gets me to a higher credit increase. So it's not something I should be confused by, right? Like, this is a good point. Like if I see that on my app, I shouldn't be like, why is somebody asking me this? Ooh,
Right.
now I know I might get a higher credit limit if I answer this question. Oh, that's good to know. Okay.
It is.
And it's interesting because, when we think about our humble beginnings, I think, back then we were doing as much as we could with very little. But now that we are increasing our capabilities, thanks to having wonderful customers and merchant partners like you, we've been able to continue this trend of being able to give flexible options, approve a lot of folks to help them get what they need now and pay over time, but done in an honest and transparent way that everyone benefits from. If we do this right,
Mhm.
the banks make money on our mistakes with late fees and overdraft fees and all this stuff. And it's beautiful to know that we don't have to worry about that with
Right.
Sunbit. So we have click to pay, web chat, the updates to the My Sunbit app, the wait list that just launched for the card. So if you don't already have the Sunbit card, I got to admit though, your customers are way ahead of the curve because the Sunbit card is an unknown thing for so many people in other states, but because you are our first partner, and your customers were the first to get the card. So
Yes,
trailblazers, if I may.
exactly. I'm one used to like to light the fire in the retail space. So if it's something that is out there to benefit them, to give them all that and more, they want it.
Now I want to talk about the card real quick because you might be sitting there going, "Well, hold on a second. Like, okay, it's been nice. It's a credit card that does
Mhm.
my minimum payment and splits it up into previously it was 12 months. It's paid off in 12 months. Now it's 36 months. So
Yes.
what is this new buy now pay later stuff that's coming up? Here's basically how it's going to work.
Okay.
Soon there's going to be, and we're going to watch a video here about it in a moment. But basically, on your My Sunbit app, you will be able to look at each transaction and control how do you want to pay for that? Do you want to pay it all right now, like a
Mhm.
debit card transaction? You can choose maybe my groceries. Ooh, I'm going to pay that now. Maybe there's another transaction that was kind of expensive, like I recently bought a mattress for the house, and those are kind of expensive. Maybe I want to put that on a payment plan. I can choose to put that on a payment plan. Or maybe there's some other transactions that I just want to leave on the regular credit card balance. So this is where, when we say it's the best of debit, credit, and Sunbit, it's
Mhm.
basically giving you full control over
Mhm.
each individual transaction because that's what we heard from people. That's what they really wanted.
Clar
Candace,
clarify
yeah,
this for me though.
yeah.
So you're saying I can go into my Sunbit portal, look at my statement, and if I went and bought pizza, I can say, "Oh, I just wanna take care of that now." So Imma hit the button, debit, that's gone. It's not billing in a cycle, it's just gone.
Precisely.
But
Yeah.
my Sleep Number mattress that I bought, instead of I can say, "Ooh, I wanna put this out 36 months from now."
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
It's funny you say that because that's what happened with me. I was at Sit and Sleep.
Mhm,
We're buying a new bed, and I wanted the one that lifted up. We're getting older,
mhm.
I needed the remote,
Little help.
and it's expensive. It's like a couple $1,000s. So I'm sitting
Yes.
in the store, and I asked the gentleman. I say, "Oh, by the way, I noticed on your website you had a buy now, pay later thing with a
Mhm.
company called Split It. Can I do that here?" And he goes, "No, that's only for online ordering. Here in the store, you have to use our Sit and Sleep credit card with like a 27% APR." And I'm sitting there and I was about to walk away, but then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, I have Sunbit in my wallet."
Right.
I now
Oh,
this was the current version of the card where it was like a 36-month payment plan. So I was like, "Oh,
mhm.
I'm just going to do this on a 36-month." I was treating it like a payment plan.
Yeah.
But what you're saying, I'm just so excited. We now have that control. You
Mhm.
know,
I
I
love
get
it.
to say how I pay for it.
I love it. Love it. Love it. So, one of the things that I know my clients have really appreciated about Sunbit is just continuous flexibility, great customer service, and now you have even more options. We also use a feature, Adrian, which has helped my clients that are in New York, my clients that are in Texas, that they've moved, where I can send them the link to check out. Love it.
Yeah.
They'll call me and say, "Just send me the link." I'm going live. They'll say, "Just send me the link." I'm like, "Okay." And that's been a great, added feature as well.
That's great to hear.
Send me
That's
the
great to
link.
hear.
I'll add there's one link to actually check out and pay. But if you're remote and you just want to see what your options are, we also have a pre-qualification link just to apply, check out your options, no harm from wherever you're at.
Mhm. And I've gotten a few emails where folks have done the pre-qualification and it's been like a new client. So I'm like, wow, okay. Thanks, Sunbit, for the referral.
Yeah. It's because what happens is on our website at sunbit.com, we have a store locator where folks can just put in their address or zip code and find what businesses, dental practices, veterinary clinics, car service, where can I do Sunbit?
No.
And if they stumble across all that and more, it points to your pre-qualification link, and then you're getting notified. But
Yes.
you're also an expert at marketing, which I also, if you ever feel your ears burning, it's probably me talking about you to somebody else to try to
Okay.
educate
Thank
folks.
you.
It goes nicely with the red, right?
Yes.
It's one of those things where it's like if we put it out there, we just got to generate awareness with folks, let them know what their options are, and you're an absolute professional at that. So,
Thank you.
when we have a tool that helps let people know what their options are and gives you visibility so you can actually follow up with folks, that's a winning combination.
Right, and it's such a, beautiful experience when folks walk in and say, "I heard about you from," that just ties the relationship even more so because you've built credibility that, "Hey, this is a great place to experience," so thank you for that, and you guys have Sunbit has definitely helped to promote and build my brand, just in terms of another added piece of the more when you come and experience all that and more. So thank you for the more.
Very welcome.
So I
Um,
want to touch on two quick things. So kind of experience I had. So back to the new feature with the click to pay link. So recently my checking account ran out. So my Sunbit card payment was due and I missed it. So the best feature now, if you miss your payment, your card expires, whatever my situation, checking account ran out, we text you a link to make that payment. So you can just click the link. It takes you right into the payment portal. Easy done. Take care of it. But what we're also adding to the card in my Sunbit is the ability to link your bank account. So that way you don't have to worry about your debit card expiring if you lose it, whatever. Your bank account is always attached, so we always have a payment method there. That's going to be coming to the My Sunbit app and the Buy Now Pay Later card soon. And I think that's a good segue into our little teaser video of what the Buy Now, Pay Later card actually is.
All right. That's my cue. Here we go. That was awesome. Thank you so much. The one thing I want to back up to is that something you said, Adrian, was, I've had clients that have gone into, they've had financial challenges and, they've called me and said, hey, my situation. And I say, just call Sunbit. I said, just call them, make arrangements, they'll work with you. And you mentioned that there's no late fees and things of that nature. So I just want to say thank you again for, being the type of financial institution that I can encourage my clients when they have had those financial challenges to give you a call. And in those situations, they've called, they've made arrangements, and the relationship has continued, opposed to it stopping there. So thanks
Yeah,
for being that type of financial service provider to my clients.
Of course,
we've
that's
all
the
been
goal
there.
we strive for. I remember from the very early days when we met, kind of our motto was support and how we treat our partners and our customers was treat every customer like you're first. It was a true leap of faith, I think, for our co-founders having this idea and launching it. And when they found you, it definitely was a leap of faith on your end to say, who are they? What is this? What do they want? How does it work? And thank you for taking that. It really helped get us to where we were today. And even your customers, too. I know Cherie took the leap of faith up front, and that's really helped blaze the trail to where we're at today. But again, that's something we always are keeping right there with us is, treat every customer like our first. We really do care. We want to make sure everyone has a good experience.
And in those situations, because again, we've had a few bumps along the road, and in those situations where I've said to Rod, it's the pandemic and things have changed, and that doesn't feel good. He's like, "You're right, Candace. Let me follow up and I'll get back to you." In situations where I've called you and said, this took a while, there was an error, my client's name isn't spelled correctly, something slightly off. It took us a while to get through the process, and now she's not happy. You've reached out, you followed up and reached out specifically to her, and you made the adjustments to where she wouldn't have that problem in the future. And information is so important to where you guys just don't say, "Oh, okay, I'll take care of it and get back to you," and never get back to me. You get back to me and to my clients with the details. And it's not always a yes. And sometimes it's a no for now. And it's okay because you've provided the information to leave the client feeling whole, like, okay, I have a good understanding of what impacted, why it's not happening now, but I'm hopeful in the future that it will. And that's great. So, one of the things I wanted to know is, can you give us any facts and data of how we're looking, what we're doing here, and all that and more?
Absolutely. You know, when you look at your numbers, it is humbling. It really is. When Sunbit was built, it was built as an answer to the problem we all have with traditional financing.
Mhm,
All of us, and this is what's sad, all of us have been burned by banks and credit cards at some point. We've had
mhm,
bad experiences, we're suspicious, we're skeptical, and naturally so. So the only way we change things is if we do it better. That's why Sunbit's not a bank or a financing company. We're a tech firm run by a
Mhm.
bunch of math nerds who believe we can do this better. So when we look at your numbers, it's a testament to the original inception of what Sunbit was intended to be and what it ultimately became. So, when we look at, you launched March 11th, 2016. So,
Mhm.
we're celebrating your 7-year anniversary with Sunbit. And over that amount of time, 1,129 customers have scanned their IDs on your tablet. Over
Wow.
1,100 people.
Yes.
Now, of those people, 1,029 of them got approved. So in 7 years, what that means is you have approved 96.7% of the people who applied through Sunbit. That's incredible.
It
When you
is.
consider that credit cards decline half of the people who apply,
Right.
the
And
vast majority of Americans can't get credit cards or bank loans.
that's always the hesitation. They're always like, I don't think I'll qualify. And then in 30 seconds, I can turn around and say, oh, but you did. Look, look.
What's even crazier is that in of the 1,129 people over 7 years, only 37 people got declined.
Wow.
Only 37, but it didn't hurt to check.
Mm-mm.
Sunbit doesn't ding your credit when you
Right.
apply. It's not dinging you like other financing does.
Mhm.
So in this 7 years, you've actually had 974 purchases with
Okay.
Sunbit at your store.
Okay.
And when we look at the average purchase amount, it's around $319, which is
Mhm.
pretty incredible.
It is.
And in terms of revenue generated, it's been over $310,000 in 7 years, which I'm sure has been a boon to the business. But what's even
Yes.
more fascinating is of all the approvals over the years, Sunbit has approved over $1.5 million for your customers. So
We're
to see our number,
millionaires.
I know. I mean, the fact that we've said yes to so many people, the fact
Yes.
that we've been able to help folks get what they need, what they want now, and simply pay over time, but in a healthy, more transparent way, and to see it in
Mhm.
your numbers, it's helped your business, it's helped your community,
Mhm.
and we still thrive. I know a lot of people were like, "Who's Sunbit? Are they going to even be around in a year?"
Right.
And yesterday I was geeking out a little bit. I was nerding out because I sat here going, you saw the vision early. You were the first to see the vision that early. And now to see these huge companies and brands follow in your wake. I mean, when we look at just car service, Sunbit is in 1 out of 3 dealership service centers nationwide now.
Okay.
And 15 car manufacturers, 15 of them, from companies like Mercedes Benz to Honda and more, have officially endorsed Sunbit as financing partners for parts and service.
That's awesome.
So they're swimming in your wake, Candance.
That's
So
right.
it's amazing to see. So 7 years of growth, more to come. I think Dan, maybe if you want to give us a snapshot into like Sunbit's growth, I
Yeah.
know you also pulled some pretty cool numbers there.
Yeah. One more cool stat I want to share. So Sunbit as a whole, on average, a customer gets approved at Sunbit. Um, 50 to 60% of customers who get approved end up buying something using Sunbit. Candace, what's amazing, it's a testament to your customers loving Sunbit, is 90% of your customers who get approved on Sunbit end up making a purchase on Sunbit, which is so cool to see. It works, it's there, it's a tool, and they love using it.
Is
Yeah.
So,
that the highest conversion rate in the country?
yeah, I am inclined to say so. Absolutely.
My
Well,
goodness.
I will say that at the time in which Arad and Tal came into the store, I was really questioning, my purpose and, what I was currently doing in the community because it was a really challenging time. My father had recently passed away and it was just a hard time. But, to hear the numbers, to know that my community has continued to show up, to experience that, not just when it's challenging times for myself, but during the pandemic, everyone says, how did you stay in business during that time? And I said, my community showed up for me. My community came out, my community and Sunbit, you support that community and you allow them to continue to come out and show up. And 90% of the time, 90% of the folks that have tried it that are currently using it is amazing. That conversion rate is just crazy. So, wow. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you. Thank you.
it really is a
Thank
no.
you.
Thank you. So in terms of Sunbit's growth, our first year in business, we had a total of about 1,600 purchases in that first year in 2016. You've almost surpassed that alone, Candace, in your time. Last year, we had over 762,000 purchases. So we've grown quite a bit year over year. But all time, over the past 7 years, we've had over 1.8 million purchases completed pay with Sunbit, which is amazing. So thank you for everyone who's ever made a Sunbit purchase, uses the product, continues to use us. We're very grateful because without you, you really are what's powering Sunbit. And as Adrian mentioned earlier, we have, Candace, you were the first, number one. And now we have over 18,000 active merchants offering Sunbit to their customers, primarily in automotive, dental, and eyewear.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's 11 o'clock or after 11. I have two ladies at the door ready to celebrate Sunbit. So thank you, Dan. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Arad and Tal. And thank you to all of the Sunbit staff who support our Mornistas. So let's celebrate. Come on down today. We're here from 11 to 7. We're going to have cupcakes. We're going to have champagne. We're going to celebrate and shop with Sunbit. Thank you guys. Have
Thank you,
Thank
Candace, so
you.
much.
a great day and
Take care,
let's continue
everyone.
to celebrate.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.